Better late than never. Ahsoka just dropped. Finally, we are going to talk Ahsoka. Did it pass the test? Is it Star Wars? And maybe even most importantly, Nick, is Dave Filoni getting a pass here or is he guilty? The trial of Dave Filoni continues.
Yeah, and we'll definitely be getting into it as we kind of just give our quick thoughts on the first two episodes. Now, of course, obviously, it's not the whole show. All we can go on is what they've given us so far in these first two episodes. Maybe by the end, we might feel differently one way or another about the show as a whole, but we'll definitely give you guys our honest feedback for these first two episodes.
Get ready. We might say things that you like and agree with, and there's a good chance one of us is going to make you mad.
Yep, probably so.
So right away, Nick, what I saw first, this article just dropped. It says mixed Ahsoka reviews drop its Rotten Tomatoes score below all seasons of The Mandalorian. They are claiming here that Rotten Tomatoes has scored the show lower than Mando season 3. The problem with that is that when I actually go to Rotten Tomatoes, it still says Ahsoka 93% critic, 86% audience. And then you go to Mando season 3, audience score is exactly where it should be, 51, and critic 85. So this report that we're getting here from Screen Rant is wrong. Like it's dead wrong.
Screen Rant tends to not have very accurate articles.
No.
They tend to be one of the one of the sites that's more not really truthful. So
No doubt
you got to
about it.
take everything they say with a grain of salt and fact check what they're telling you over there at times.
They definitely spin it around on you for sure. Okay, so let's do this. Let's have a little fun. We're going to make people wait just a moment for the juicy stuff. Let's talk about the things that we liked about the first two episodes. We've waited a long time for Star Wars. It's finally here. Ahsoka, we'll just kind of bounce back and forth. So tell us one thing that you actually liked about the first two episodes.
The beginning, just starting off episode 1. I like that there was a crawl. I'd much rather have the Star Wars, and the regular crawl from the movies. But at least we got something, to kind of get us going in the story. I like the crawls. I think they should do them more often. Definitely gave a bit of a Conan feel to it.
Because it was the red font and all that stuff.
Yeah, and then the music in the background, that was playing. So that was cool. And then we get some rebel ships that they're apparently from season 3 of Mando. They're supposed to be dismantling the rebel fleet, but here we have a New Republic ship. With some X-wings and some A-wings in the hangar there,
and all that looked really good.
Yeah, visually, I can't really complain about anything from the first two episodes. I thought, for the most part, everything looked great. The set designs, the look of it, the special effects, I thought looked great. Balin, what's it, Ray Stevenson's character in the show was my favorite character in the first two episodes.
I loved him. Wasn't it a nice touch how at the end of episode 1 they said in the credits, in memory of Ray Stevenson? That was so cool.
Yep, they added that in, which was nice. But yeah, I thought he was the best actor and the best character in the first two episodes by far. I mean, nobody else was even close to him for me. So I liked that. The lightsaber fights with Ahsoka in the first episode. She goes in the temple, gets the MacGuffin device, the map, which we'll get into later on the negative section. But she comes out, she freaking takes out the droids, which, I hate that it seems to always be droids that the Jedi or Ahsoka or these people are fighting, because when you're doing these shows and you got droids, you can basically chop off arms, heads, all that sort of stuff. There's no
Mhm.
blood and stuff, so it makes sense from that aspect. But I'd like to see more actual people being involved, getting
Yeah.
heads chopped off, arms,
Right.
legs, that sort of thing. So but her as far as her performance as Ahsoka and her fighting skills and stuff, I thought were cool. When she first shows up at that temple, she uses the Force to throw her lightsabers in the ground and then spins them around in a perfect circle. Drops down. I thought that was cool how she used the Force to kind of throw her lightsabers into that concrete, into that stone, and
Yeah.
carve out, basically her own entrance into this
Mhm.
underground, you know, section of the temple or whatever.
Yeah. So one of the things that, and let's just kind of bounce back and forth with the positives. One thing for me that I really liked about the first 2 episodes that I felt like Mando and the Book of Boba Fett has mostly ignored, we got a lot more, it seemed like we got a lot more New Republic in this show, and I like
Yeah,
it. And they pulled it off. When we got the New Republic parts in the 3rd season of Mando, it was all bad. Everything about
yeah,
it, from sitting in the cubicles to "Quite refreshing, son," and all that
yeah,
stuff. This
yeah,
now it's actually like, this is what you would think they would be,
yeah.
and
The New Republic wasn't as cringe in this
mhm,
as
yeah,
they've been portrayed in the other shows for sure.
and another thing that I liked about it was, having lightsabers again, seeing the Force again, having some characters that I am way more familiar with. And in Mando, we're getting a bunch of characters that are new, that are recently
Yeah,
created, so it's nice to see characters that we are actually, familiar with. I agree with what you said. The show looks fantastic.
yeah,
And there was not a single moment with Ahsoka in her fighting that I didn't think Rosario Dawson did extremely well.
yeah,
I
yeah.
thought I thought everything she did was really good.
Mhm.
I do have a negative about her fight scenes when we get there, but yeah, so far with all that, I was unsure how I was gonna feel about Hera. I thought she was fine. I thought she was good. It worked for me. When I saw her in the trailer, didn't really look like Hera at all. Didn't really sound like Hera at all. But in this show, it worked. I really like the droid, Hu Yang. He is from the Clone Wars. He's an ancient
Pootie
droid.
Tang,
He,
Pootie
he's
Tang.
a he, Pootie Tang. He's a very old droid, and I like his role in this, kind of as a narrator companion for Ahsoka. I think that's neat. I like it, and we know, too, that if you're a fan of Rebels and Clone Wars, Ahsoka always had a connection with droids, very close
Mm.
relationship with droids. And here she is yet again. She lives with one and uses him for everything. And, I thought that was pretty cool myself. You got any more positives you want to throw out there?
Let's see. On the first episode, I'm just trying to think. I'm trying to since they dropped 2 episodes, they kind of run together for me. So I'm trying to think
Sure.
of. I got it pulled up here too. I'm just kind of skimming through it. I'm looking. I got a lot of negatives. So I'm looking for some positive stuff here. Let's see here. I already talked about that pretty
Yeah, I'm gonna switch it over
much.
to episode 2 as well as I go through here. I did like the scene where Ahsoka goes back to Sabine's home by
Mhm.
herself after she was like, "You've done enough. I got this. Let me go recover the map, or investigate." And she goes in there, slices that droid to bits, and she says, "I was hoping you would still be here." Like, I just loved
Uh,
that. That was so good.
Yeah. All right. So I went through the rest of episode 1. I have no more positives.
That's okay. All right. I'm kind of looking at episode 2, you know, fight scene, same thing. The I love the sequence where Ahsoka was fighting on the ground against 4 sabered warriors with a 5th watching, and Hera has to chase the ship that's trying to leave.
Man,
That whole sequence to me was pretty good.
yeah. Other than the fact that that ship, whoever's shooting, is
Can't
very
shoot.
terrible aiming.
Keep firing, a-holes.
Yeah, yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. Just pew pew pew, just skimming right across her nose the whole time.
Yeah,
Uh, one of the other positive things on episode 2, the beginning shot, when on episode 2 where Balin and I think you're still on episode 1. Oh no, that was episode 2. Yeah. Um yeah, right there. Where they are going to this little Stonehenge type
yeah,
area and they're flying up on it, and you kind of see the landscape and the water and stuff. I thought that was a great shot. I like this little setup here, this like Stonehenge type deal here, where they got a now is I mean the well, all right, I'm gonna stick to positives. I like the whole little area here. I thought it looks cool. Um I'm trying to
I'm
think what else from episode 2.
hey, if it's not coming right off, we don't have to get them all. So,
Yeah.
I'm ready to move into negatives if you are.
Yeah, let's do it.
Alright? So, you wanna do one, I do one? Like,
Yeah,
I pick, you pick? Okay.
yeah.
Alright. You're
So,
up first.
starting with episode 1, negative, I'm just gonna kinda skim through. As soon as I saw the white dude in charge of the ship, I called. I was like, "He's either a bad guy or he's gonna die." He died. It's not really a negative, it's just observation. I thought the way he handled, the, Balin and them when they came on board, when he allowed them to board the ship, and then he's gonna talk down to them and accuse them of being imperial scum and stuff. He's done no research. He's done no investigation. He's just he just comes to this conclusion just off the top of his head, and he's in charge.
Yeah,
I thought that was terrible.
yeah.
From a leadership standpoint, for somebody
Why would you
from
even let them on the ship?
yeah, like if he had those premeditated thoughts in his head that, oh, the Jedi are dead,
Mhm.
there shouldn't be any like this is a scam. We're not going to let them board the ship. We have
Yeah,
what if there was a bomb on there and nobody was on there,
yeah,
other than a droid or something, and just destroyed the whole ship? Why would you let some unknown ship like that with supposed Jedi when there aren't any left come on board just to sit there and it didn't make sense.
yep.
The writing in these first 2 episodes, I did not think was particularly very well done. Um, and the
Hey, well, I pick, you pick.
oh yeah,
I
yeah.
pick, you pick.
Yep,
So,
go ahead.
one of my negatives, big negative for me, was I could remember 2 different times where the music just took me out of it.
Oh
Everything I was
yeah,
seeing with my eyes looked right, looked good, looked like Star Wars. But especially when Sabine was on, like, that speeder bike or swoop bike or whatever it
oh,
was,
just so
and they started
cringe.
they started playing that rock kinda music, I got a
Yeah,
very J.J. Abrams,
with
the,
lyrics.
Star
Yeah,
Trek reboot where Kirk is leaving and he's getting arrested,
yeah.
and he's on the motorcycle and they're playing "Sabotage" by the Beastie Boys.
Uh,
I don't ever want to experience a J.J. Abrams feel again in my life. That
yeah,
was all very negative to me. Keep rock music out of Star Wars.
yeah, really. You know, eh, and they tried, giving it like alien language lyrics and stuff, but still
Yeah.
it was just it
It
wasn't Star Wars.
and I know some of you are
Uh
gonna be like, "You don't think they have rock in the Star Wars galaxy? Come on, man. Stop it."
yeah.
Now, Nick, while we're going through this, look in private chat. Just I typed you a message just so you know. Um,
Okay, gotcha. Yep.
so You got a negative up? We're ready.
Let's see. So when she goes in and into the little temple chamber thing, and she's looking at all this stuff, never being there, and she's able to figure out how to turn all this stuff, face it in this
Yeah.
direction, all this and that, to get a map of where Thrawn is.
Mhm.
Like, how did that thing even get there? If this is an ancient place, thousands of years old, how would they even know where Thrawn was? I mean, he shot off into no man's land.
Yeah.
How would anyone even know to even make a map or where he even was to even put it there in the first place? That whole part didn't make sense. And then she has to go get Sabine's help to figure out the other little MacGuffin device. This is basically the same thing as the chamber she was in, where you just turn a couple things. It's like she figured out the
Yeah.
one puzzle, but then she couldn't figure out the little Rubik's cube space ball thing.
Yeah.
Like, I was just sitting there going, this doesn't make sense at all to me.
So,
It
yeah.
was just used as a thing to just try to get Sabine in there. You know, it was just a plot device to put those two back together. You know, and I thought there was much better ways to go about doing that than what they did.
Makes it kinda lazy to me. I know
Mm,
that Sabine has, there's established lore with Sabine that she's very good with tech.
mm,
However, it just came across as lazy.
yeah,
And the fact that Sabine took it and ran away with it just like you knew she was about to,
yeah,
so predictable, and so while we're on Sabine, let me just make Sabine one of my negatives. There were several scenes that I thought she did well and it worked. And my problem is not the actress at all. I thought she did just fine. I thought it was good. She should be dead.
yeah.
She should have died, right there by getting ran through. I
Another
don't I
Reva
didn't
moment.
I didn't like that. I didn't like her, you know, she hasn't been around long enough to have a story arc of redemption. They have already redeemed Sabine. The moment where she cuts her hair off, puts on the old suit that we know from Rebels. That's redemption. That's her going back to the past to fulfill who she was then. She's ready to be the Padawan again to Ahsoka, which, oh, by the way, we didn't even know that existed until this show.
Yeah,
They kind of explained a little bit about her and the Force, basically saying she's like the least of all Jedi in Force power and ability,
yeah.
kinda, which is fine with me.
By then, she's gonna be the greatest of all time.
They are setting her up to be the Mandalorian, gunslinging, bomb throwing, use the saber when needed character, and I'm okay with that. If I think that's the right way to do it if you're gonna make her be a Jedi at all, because otherwise it just doesn't work for me really. But yeah, I the whole Sabine thing to me, there was just a lot of seemed like wasted time, and it wasn't all a success for me.
Yeah. Another negative for me that I didn't like. I like the characters of Hera, Sabine, all them. I'm not a fan of their portrayal in this show. I thought the acting was very stiff, very monotone, very Bueller, Bueller,
Yeah.
Bueller.
Bueller, 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 Bueller.
You
Right.
know, that guy, it was just, I felt no emotion. That's why I said Ray Stevens' character, he was the best actor in this entire show. And I
Yeah.
like Rosario Dawson as Ahsoka.
Me too.
And I know a lot of people don't, because a lot of people don't have, a lot of people have a strong connection with Ashley Eckstein in the animated version of Ahsoka and stuff. I'm not a huge Ahsoka fan. I like the character, okay, but I could take her or leave her. I don't have that much emotional attachment to the character. I thought Rosario Dawson did a good job, but her acting in these first two episodes felt very stiff, very monotone. There was a lot of just pausing and looking around. It felt drug out. I felt like you could have taken these first 2 episodes and basically chopped it up and had these first 2 episodes be 30, 45 minutes tops between both of them. I thought there was a lot of dragged out fluff.
right.
And these 2 episodes together are longer than the first Star Wars movie. And we got
Yeah.
a whole plot, like everything. We got a whole story. Like I got so many questions still in these first 2 episodes.
So I think for me, a negative is at times the pacing was just too slow and there was too
Yeah.
much unneeded shots included that should have been edited out. Like Ahsoka didn't need to go to 3 different pedestals to turn the thing. The finding the map or the golden snitch or whatever it was, it should have been a little less time. Even like the moments when like Ahsoka goes onto a ship, it shows her walk all the way across the center of the ship. It shows the door open. It shows Ahsoka enter. It shows the door. All these things are happening that there's so many shots. They look good. They look great, but so much of it is unneeded. Speed it up a little bit. Speaking of pacing, tied with that, Rosario Dawson's Ahsoka, great fighter, great uh, choreography with the lightsaber. Rosario Dawson has the slowest sprint in Hollywood.
So
She
slow.
is the slowest runner I have ever seen. We need to take a couple of points away from force leaping and add to force speed because she is incredibly slow. Those bombs would have killed Ahsoka.
Oh yeah, definitely. And those bombs, man, IG-11's self-destruct device was nothing compared.
Yeah.
These dudes, their self-destruct was nuclear.
I agree.
I was just like the self-destruct thing, fine, but even the Imperial probe droid, I mean, it just blows up into a million pieces. The self-destructs. I mean, if those droids were on their ship, on the whoever is running those droids, and they needed to self-destruct, I mean, that's just going to take out the whole ship. It just doesn't make sense to have a self-destruct. Just fry all the circuits in the droid, not a
Right.
nuclear explosion.
All right. So, if unless you have any more pressing negatives, let's go ahead and give our overall score and where the series sits right now.
Yeah, I don't really the whole galaxy in Rebels. It was like the Thrawn went to the far reaches of the Outer Rim. Now here he's in a completely different galaxy. And they got to come up with some sort of, I guess, Stargate. I don't know how they're going to end up getting there, but that's like, even with light speed, that would probably take like 5 lifetimes to get to. So I guess we'll find that out later in the show. But yeah, other than that, I don't really have a whole. I mean, I got more negatives, but not anything that's really worth hashing out.
To hear the more negatives, come see our live streams. So, Nick, overall, I'm going to give the first 2 episodes. I'm very happy to say this. A solid 7. I give the first 2 episodes a solid 7. I liked it. I'm going to watch them again, which is something that I cannot say for anything in Kenobi, Mando season 3, or the Book of Boba Fett. All of that was bad. This is the best beginning to a new Star Wars show that we've had since Mando season 2, because the beginning of Book of Boba Fett, Kenobi, and Mando season 3 were horrible. This actually got us off to a decent enough start. So that's where I'm going, and I'm actually looking forward to episode 3.
I'm struggling between a 5 and a 6 for these first 2 episodes for me. So much of what they did, I just didn't care about all that much. With the slow pacing and stuff, I don't know. I'll give it a 5.5 right now. 5.5 out of 10.
Okay.
I liked aspects of it. But at the end of the day, it just left me with more questions and more. This doesn't make sense. It doesn't add up to what's come before it. So it's almost like Filoni's doing his own thing and just ignoring everything else, and is just like, I'm going to do my own story however I want to do it.
Right.
the new force power thing. That's something else where she could see and know everything that happened in that space when she wasn't there. Like that's a Disney force power. That was not anything that's ever been used before. That
Yeah, I
was
don't like
another
that either.
negative. But yeah, that five and a half out of 10. I mean, hopefully it gets better. But I don't know. We'll see. I'm very
Well, look,
indifferent.
That's what we think. Let us know in the comments what we got right and what we got wrong and what is your overall score. Thank you for being here. We are Echo Base Network. We'll be back for more Ahsoka next week. See you
Bye,
later.
guys.